Good morning, or good afternoon, or, good time of day to you all. Today I'm going to be talking about separating dreadlocks. Just the act of separating dreadlocks. If you'd like to know more about Congo dreadlocks, you can click here, or if you want to know more about dreadlocks growing together, you can click here. I'll put the links there, so if you're watching on a computer, you can just push my hands, Congos, dreadlocks growing together. If you're watching on a mobile device, you won't be getting those links, so you'll have to click links that I will leave in the description. This video was requested. It was requested by a few people, so your request, I do. And that was because in my 76-month dreadlock update video, I demonstrated that I had a fair chunk of dreads all sort of growing together, and that I would probably want to deal with them because, well, I'm normally pro Congos. I like having my dreadlocks growing together. I like them, they're mad, they're fun. This is maybe a little bit too much for me, so I decided that I would probably separate them, and some people decided they would like to see that. If you've not seen my 76-month dreadlock update video, I'll put a link here for that too, or you can click down there and you can watch that and see the demonstration of that big Congo, but I can show you here too. As you can see, all these dreads are kind of stuck together. I went on vacation and I swam in the sea, so salt water kind of made these all cling together. So I'm going to do some separating there. It's just quick and easy. I've let them sort of grow a bit. They're going to take a bit of separating, and that's because when dreads are congoing together like that, they kind of trap loose hair in the middle, and I have loose hair on my face. And there's not as much of it now because some of it has got stuck inside these Congos, so I kind of let them go a bit long enough for loose hair to get locked into those dreads, and now I'll try and separate them. So first I got to identify what I want to pull apart, and there's actually quite a lot here. What I really want to do is separate this side from this side. So when I pull it apart, it looks like this dread's in the middle, but really this dread's actually on this side, and then these dreads are supposed to be on this side. And I don't mind dreads congoing together, but I don't really want the two sides to congo across, because it'll be annoying when I try to move my dreads around and move them out of my face. So I've identified that I first of all want to try and split the two sides. Okay, so it's really simple to do. You just take two dreads or two chunks of hair that you no longer want to be held together, and you can see it's quite messy and they're sort of all bound here, and you pull them and you get a quite pleasing noise. Now I'm only going to pull until it starts to pull on my scalp, so once it gets this far, you see it doesn't rip anymore, and that's because the hairs between here aren't close enough together. It's too loose, so there's not enough to pull there, and if I pull any tighter it's going to hurt my scalp. So I just pull that far and then I wait. So maybe in a week or so, a couple of weeks, this will be sort of tight enough between the two dreads for me to be able to split more. But as long as I've pulled a little bit now, it means that I'm on top of it, I'm ahead of it. If there's hairs there that you really want to split but you can't get with the pulling, like I've got some here, I'm just going to take my fingers and pull them apart. Okay, I have some here and just pull it. But this has some loose hair stuck in it, so I'm not too worried about that. It's just mainly the left and right side that I want to make sure aren't stuck together. So I just take a dread in each hand and I pull them in opposite directions. And then when I hear that cracking noise, I know that they're getting split. If you have some particularly problematic dreads that you can't seem to split by pulling, or by just putting your fingers between and splitting, you can use scissors, but if you're going to use scissors I would recommend that you get a friend to do it. I wouldn't recommend you try and split the two dreads by yourself, because it's kind of hard to see what you're cutting. So now I'm just going to go around the base of the dread and feel around to see if anywhere is still stuck, and there's still some there. Here we go. After I've done this splitting, it's going to be a little bit messy because obviously these two dreads were bound like this, and then I've ripped them apart, so there's going to be loose bits here, but they're not going to be stuck together. So here we go. No longer pulling between the two. This dread here I'm kind of leaving alone. You can see that there's kind of a whole lot of mess going on there, but I don't know whether you can see around here this ugly bit. This ugly bit here and this mess here. The ugly bit sticking out of this dread used to be loose hair that was in the front of my face. And what I would have done to it to get it like that is just twist it and then push it between the two dreads. Because you can see here, this used to be 2 dreads. Now, they're not completely Congo together. You can see that they're just sort of bound. If I turn it, you can see that there's actually a gap between the two, but they are starting to Congo together. And I've let those Congo together, even though it's going to be quite thick. I haven't decided whether I'm going to split those again yet. But I've let them be because they are trapping loose hair from the front of my face in between the two. So what I've been doing is twisting up loose hair and then pushing it between those 2 dreads that are congoing together. And as those 2 dreads congo together, sort of traps that loose hair, and then that loose hair becomes part of, you know, either one of those 2 dreads. So hopefully if I do decide to then later split those 2 dreads, it'll keep some of that loose hair from my face trapped between the 2 of them. So you can see now I can pull on this side without pulling. Well, it still jiggles a bit, but I have to wait. It's much better than it was before. There's still some connections that are too close to the scalp to really get much pull on, but I'll wait until they grow out a bit and then I'll be able to rip those. And the main thing with it is to make sure that you're ripping them faster than they're joining together, which is really easy to do because dreads join together pretty slowly. Now my dreads are quite old and thick, so I mean they're really rope-like. If you have really young dreads that are softer and thinner and not as strong, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful with them. I can be pretty rough with my dreads and, you know, nothing bad is going to happen, but you have to use some common sense when you're doing this. If you can feel that your dreads are being pulled on too tight, stop pulling. I've had people question before going, oh, if I rip between my dreads, I'm going to rip the dread. You know, if you're pulling that hard that you feel you're going to damage the dread, stop. You have to use some common sense. If you find that it's painful to do, you should try doing it when they're still wet from getting out of the shower. They're easier to split when they're wet. And again, if you are having some that are particularly problematic or they're too congoed together to rip, then you can go with scissors or a knife, but I wouldn't do that myself. I'd get someone else to do it because I wouldn't trust myself being able to see where all the hairs go. Much better to get someone else to help you with that. You don't want to cut through a root. So that's me separating my dreads. Just very quick, just simply going through the motions of separating dreads. If you want to know more about congos, click here. Want to know more about dreadlocks growing together, click here. All the links down in the description. Any comments, questions, queries, anything you'd like to know about dreadlocks or separating dreadlocks, things like that, leave them down in the comment section and I will get back to you. Find more stuff on lazydreads.com. You can join me and other people at facebook.com/lazydreads. And you can tweet me, and that is twitter.com/lazy_dreads. If you enjoyed this video, remember to click thumbs up so I know you enjoyed this video, because if you don't click thumbs up, I'll be like, you didn't enjoy this video, clearly I'm doing something wrong. If you want to see more, subscribe, because then you're subscribed and you will get new videos sent to you when they are uploaded. Thank you for watching, goodbye!